Hello Eternum and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news, and this is the War Report. Dynamic change in the history of Eternum last night as the forces of the Censored knock out the champs early in the fight and claim the championship belt of Everfall. We caught up with the new heavyweight champs celebrating in City Hall. Well, how about this, riding the momentum into night 2, back-to-back nights, taking another region. What is this madness?
No, we've been practicing really hard, to be honest with you. The first few wars we had was pretty much us coming together, and then between us and our allies, we had a lot of really good allies out there. Retirement homies helped us out a lot. Helped us out. P-Tolls helped us out a lot. And a lot of other friends from other companies came through for us.
Returning to our ongoing coverage of the Medley Fair event, KOTT Investigates can confirm the effectiveness of bait in catching sturgeon. Looking at the weather for tonight's main events, and we can see that after sunset, a very small 20% chance of invasion will arise at the tips. 5 roster submissions for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPco. Remember, if it is in LARPco, it's cardboard. First up, the Syndicate forces of Purple Monkey Dishwasher attack the Covenant forces of Most Wanted LLC for control of the primary oil reserves of Weaver's Fin. Given the nature of the corruption on the island, it is unlikely a monkey has been trained to wash dishes. Yet here they are, trained to fight wars. The Covenant forces of Most Wanted Limited Liability Corporation have tenure and history on their side. It was Covenant that first purchased the Fin. Will the Covenant retain it tonight? Then, the Syndicate forces of Lords of Hotan assault the Covenant forces of Spudbuds for control of the uncontrollable Restless Shore. The Lords of Hotan make their first assault on the Restless Shore. Perhaps they sense an opportunity to acquire some coastal land from divided forces. The Spudbuds claim right of first respondent, having secured the hamlet from corruption after the megastorm last week. The dispute will be resolved on the archipelago. Meanwhile, the Marauders of Rogue Reavers assail the Covenant forces of Spudbuds for control of First Light and the flow of the spice. Rogue Reavers strike at First Light in their effort to ransack the island's premier spice farms. Holding the island's stockpiles would give them an advantage elsewhere. Spudbud forces may be divided tonight, or they may not, as this organized group of first responders have always claimed the region in the name of the Spark. Afterwards, the Covenant forces of Spudbuds mug the Syndicate forces of Barely Friends for control of the financial capital of Windsward. Spudbud forces may have overextended their financial reserves in their bid to conquer the island. Taking Windsward tonight could renew their resolve. Barely Friends have been warming up against Marauders all week, and despite this have rebuilt after the storm, including vault battlements and main gate oil. In the nightcap, the Syndicate forces of Hentai Homies assault the Covenant forces of the Commonwealth for control of the Bamboo Forest Preserves and Medicinal Hot Springs of Ebonscale. Respecting the terms of the first week accord, Hentai Homies officially declare their intentions to secure the resort destination and develop more unusual attractions. The Commonwealth of Ebonscale have asserted their right of first response and their rights of first purchase by association. They don't want the hamlet to be made weird. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News.